this is WT News. Today we are with President Dr.KWAAK YoungHoon, the President of the World Citizens Organization. Hello, President Dr. KWAAK.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you for your coming.
Thank you very much for accepting our interview despite your busy schedule. Would you please introduce yourself to us?
I'm a Taekwondo man, first of all, who is always interested in seeing Taekwondo to become instrumental to teach people in the world to be more harmonious. But I'm also a professor all my life, teaching various fields, including architecture, planning, political science, landscape architecture, and education and philosophy. Presently, I'm a president of World Citizens Organization, but also I'm a professor at the Lumbini Buddhist University. Lumbini is the birthplace of Buddha, Sakyamuni Buddha.
Thank you very much. Would you please tell us, what is the World Citizens Organization?
It's very simple. We are living in a globalized world today, and people should not be confined in their thinking, in their behaving or working, not as a national or any religion as they adhere to, or the race they belong to, but they should go beyond these limitations, so that they can live as freely as possible and share values, human values, and hopefully I want people to have a very peaceful coexistence. So that's why we made this. But it was established in 1987 when Korea was in political turmoil, and Seoul Olympic in 1988 was not going to be hosted because of that problem.
I see.
And I thought it's necessary to have an organization which would appeal to various leaders in the world, not to boycott, but everybody to come, and also political leaders in Korea, not to quarrel too much. Even the relationship between North and South Korea was very absurd, and I thought it would be a good idea to have a civil society called World Citizens Organization, which would encourage intercommunication between differences of various kinds, including nation states. So that's why we made the World Citizens Organization. And then what we did, we succeeded. 1988, everybody came, and the ideological wall between East-West was broken, and World Citizens Organization since then has been doing two things. And number one was to rediscover Silk Road, traditional Silk Road, the interchange from Korea all the way to Venezia, Italy. So we have been traveling and then making Silk Road Mayors Forum in various places, including Xi'an, Lanzhou, Almaty, Tashkent, and Bursa, Kazvin, all these places, even Kabul, which is exactly in between, in the middle. And so by doing that, we were able to share views, which was different before, but also we understood why the difference exists and how that could be not to be reconciled, but to be celebrated. So that's what we have learned in number 2. We go not only rediscovering the traditional Silk Road, but try to connect it to the rest of the world and try to make smart global road system. So we were doing 2 things together, rediscovering one and then going further to make it global. So that's what we have been doing as a World Citizens Organization president.
That's amazing. Thank you. Okay, so you have made many achievements in the Korean economy so far. Please tell us 1 or 2 representative achievements among them.
Well, you came into Korea through Yeongjongdo Northeast Asia Hub Airport. That's of course our work. And if you have taken world best subway in Seoul, that's done by us.
Oh wow! So close
KTX,
to
same thing.
home. Oh really?
But they're numerous, from Seoul to Daejeon in the middle part of Korea, and Yeosu, which is the southern part of Korea. It's like Côte d'Azur in Europe, and 3 different parts. And I have so many projects, but instead of explaining to you what I did for the development of Korea, which outside people are calling it miracle. So the miracle, there's no miracle in the world. There's somebody who has mind and conceived some thoughts for the development of Korea in a very rapid fashion. Just one of the explanation is from this.
Nice.
This is a Korean peninsula, and then I'm trying to relate it to Taekwondo. I looked at it and then say this is like a center part of my body, human body, and then there's a so important kupso. You know, kupso, what that is?
No.
The very fatal spots in human body, and where you have to hit it or kick it, something like that. And then I thought I used that kind of a system to make 5 important fatal spots of Korean peninsula.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, and then for the northern part, I couldn't do right now. It's in North Korea, but southern part, I have made many innovative thoughts and made a public policy, and that's being implemented. So one was so important point at that fatal point in Seoul is called Seoul Olympic, with a theme of breaking ideological wall between East and West.
Nice.
That was the theme. And then this is actually what happened. But the concept was Olympic plus peace. Olympics. And then second part, Daejeon, middle part of South Korea, I thought it would be a good idea to use logos and W. So technological way to be found between north and south.
Oh, okay.
So it's east, west, north, south. Together, we'll try to find a technological and scientific way to develop Korea. So, galaxy and electronic and all kinds of very smart systems Korea have is basically is a fruit of what we have done here.
Wow, I did not know that.
And number 3 is Yeosu Expo plus Silk Road Mayors Forum, which I explained to you.
Yes.
And that concept was like ideological wall between east and west, technological way between north and south. This epistemological wave among north, east, west, south, which makes news.
Amazing.
It's a news.
That's so creative.
And then main theme was globalization.
Yes.
People are very much concerned about globalization. And then localization as well. And they were, in a way, they're quarreling each other. But it's not necessary to quarrel. Taekwondo is not to quarrel, but to make disciplining to be more peace maker. So it's a good idea to have that kind of thinking going. So it's being made like that. And then for Expo, we made KTX going down, KTX all the way down to Yosu. So we made a continuous, super rapid train system. So you can see with this concept of Taekwondo center part with the fatal points, we put important concept to generate a very quick the direction for quick development. This is what instead of I explain every detailed projects, I thought I should mention this basic concept in relation to Taekwondo and the body.
That's amazing. Do you think most Korean young people know this?
I don't think so. Young people do not know, but even public policy makers do not know.
Really?
Many scholars didn't know. Many Taekwondo people do not know. Because it is a kind of concept. It's like, how would you say, you are a producer, main producer, and then actually people who are acting, actress, in the stage or in the movie, you know the actor and actress, but not the one who is...
You don't know the root.
Yeah, the person who conceived the whole story and how to produce, they do not know. So I'm today opening for you, disclosing this kind of very concept in relation to the Taekwondo. Because with this, you have to have a very fatal blow. What should I do? What should I do for this? What should I do for this? And that's how this thing's done. So this is the first time this concept of making Korea develop very rapidly with a Taekwondo kind of concept was never disclosed. This first time, my dear friend.
Thank you for that. It's a beautiful concept. Through all this, one could say you have developed a deep bond with Taekwondo. Could you please tell us more about this bond you have?
Bond.
A bond.
Very close bond. Because when I was young, WCO Taekwondo Training Center, one of the major ones, it was the oldest one in Korea, was in my neighbor.
I see.
Not far away from here. So necessarily, my elder brother went to Cheongdo-wan to be trained in Taekwondo, and I followed the suit. So it's very long, early on in my life I did that. But I went to MIT in Boston, at Harvard and in Boston. Then many people asked me to teach, have a course for Taekwondo. So I made Taekwondo course and then also established Taekwondo club of MIT and Harvard University. So I have taught there for a long time. And then when I returned back to Korea to teach at Seoul National University and also do a lot of advice for the development of Korea, Taekwondo juniors asked me to be the president of National Elementary School Association. So I was the president in 1976 also, a long time ago. And that also I was one of the director of 10 or 12 directors of Taekwondo National Association. So my bond has been through my life. Not only those things I just mentioned, but many Taekwondo juniors, many Taekwondo masters and grandmasters, like Junri in Washington, D.C. Whenever they come to Korea, of course, they visit me. And when I go away from Korea, let's say, take an example in Antalya, Turkey, there's a Korean Taekwondo master in Antalya, and when Munich come, and so I've been continually having relationship with Taekwondo and Taekwondo people all my life. So that's been a bond, if you like.
Do you think this bond will continue?
I think so. How could you stop the bond unless I dislike them or they dislike me or something like that? But I'm joking. Through my life, until my end of my life, I don't have to talk about this, but it will continue, of course.
So you could say Taekwondo has created a bond not just within you, but with people around you. It has.
That's right. You have to have always in and out, always together. I always call experience, but it's not American, the English meaning of experience, but there's imperience.
Imperience.
Imperience. So I imperience, I experience. So you have to have both. In Korea we call 내험, that's way home.
I see.
So in English they do not separate these two concepts. So Taekwondo, you have to experience as well as you experience.
That's amazing. Interesting. Thank you. All right. What is your opinion or evaluation about the world of Taekwondo, both nationally and internationally?
That's a very good question because I'm very concerned today. As I explained, the experience part is very much lacking. And secondly, Taekwondo people are only exercising, practicing, training body. As instead of adding Do, only Taekwondo. So the Do is very much lacking. And training has been done in that way. So it is very necessary at this particular juncture of human history that people should think inwardly more, because we are thinking about meditation, mindfulness and all this, because today environmental problems, ecological problems, all kinds of problems happening because inner strength hasn't been trained. Taekwondo has the name of Do at the end, like Judo, Aikido, all the Do or Tao or Dao. This means the truthful way. So it is a mental, soul, spiritual aspect is there. That's been missing nationally, internationally. So today we are somewhat troubled to my mind. What's the purpose of learning? It is to be strong, very accurate, very alert. What is it? And for what purpose? So that's been very missing link. So nationally, globally, we should now, Taekwondo should really, people should start to thinking about Do as well as Taekwondo.
Thank you. May I ask, what is your purpose in Taekwondo internally, inside?
Internally is a very good question. Number one, necessarily, we should know who you are. But that has been questioned by Socrates and many people for 2,500 years. But what's the relationship with others? When you try to know who you are, you have to know yourself, but that knowing yourself should be could be done more easier way by relating to other people, the relationship. It's I, you, so you are I. The second point I'm trying to say is you are I. You are I, so the relationship is one. You are I, if you put them together and then pronounce it, it's called Uri.
Uri.
Wow! Yeah.
Uri.
So Uri, so that's we, all of us. So Taekwondo, we should have that purpose in mind. Find you, but in relation to with others, I said, you are I. If you reverse it, I am you. Then if you read I am you, imu, which means two doesn't exist. So one, we are related.
I see.
So this kind of finding oneself is very, very important in Taekwondo doing. That's completely missing. Not only Taekwondo, but Judo, Aikido, everything else is completely missing, unfortunately, but this should be revived. Especially this particular epoch of pandemic, of Corona, it's really contagious to everybody, and so we are all related. And then secondly, we have to think about if we should not waste too much and consume too much. Don't be too materialistic oriented. Money is not everything. That kind of inner learning and external doing should be tempered through this kind of training.
I see. Thank you. I'd like to have another interview to discuss this further. Okay, finally, Lee Dong-so, the president of Kukiwon, or National Sport, recently visited you. Would you please tell us your opinion of this, and how do you evaluate the Kukiwon?
He visited me last week, and I was very happy to hear what he wants to do as the president of Kukiwon. Kukiwon, as you know, is the most important organization for Taekwondo. When it was first built, I was advising the location, the site. At the time, that area, Gangnam style area, was not developed at all. So I suggested that area should be considered as the site for Kukiwon. Now I have been watching them and visiting them many times, but now the present president Lee Dong-seok has visited me and telling me what is his plan for the future of Taekwondo was very enlightening. I was very happy to hear. He was a national assemblyman, and he really made a good, achievements. And I hope he achieves, better organization of Kukiwon and the emphasis of what Taekwondo should be doing, and connecting, communicating, interrelating with the Taekwondo masters and grandmasters here and abroad. And I am very hopeful after hearing him last week. I'm very hopeful that he would do something good for Taekwondo world.
I'm sure he will. Okay, finally, if there's anything you'd like to add, please do.
Well, I spoke Konglish, not English, because sometimes it's good to speak Konglish rather than perfect English, so it's more interesting. But anyway, I want the viewers to understand the points I try to say to you. But this is a very special epoch in human history. Corona pandemic is affecting, and humanity is now looking for new normal. What is new normal is a very important concept. What was normal before is not normal anymore. What was abnormal, we should discard. We have to find new normals. For new normals, I think one of the most important thing to say to you and Taekwondo people is the mindfulness. Material matter before pandemic. Now I hope humanities think mind matters more. When mind matters more, Taekwondo with Do emphasis has a very important role to play for humanity, beyond borders of nation, race, and religion. Change your mind and become related to other people and make this world a better place to live for next generation. This is a Taekwondo, what Taekwondo should be striving for at this particular juncture of human history.
Thank you.
It's a very important time.
So inner peace, outer peace, and unity.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you.
So I expect all the viewers in the world to do something good for humanity. I really appreciate what you do in every corners of the world. I appreciate you indeed from my heart. I really want to send you the best regard.
Thank you very much. Lovely talking to you. Wow, thank you so much for this insightful conversation, from your wisdom, your teachings. It's been wonderful talking to you. Thank you so much.
I hope I was helpful.
Incredibly so. You've been watching the World Citizens Organization Headquarters interview with President Dr.KWAAK YoungHoon. This is WT News, Karina. Thank you and see you next time. Fighting!